Good evening, YouTube. I have no idea what's going on here. I just pressed live because I was painting and I thought, why not? So, in front of me are my current obsession 10mm Pendragon figures. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but I seem to have Pendragon figures all over the house, or certainly all over the hobby room. Not recent purchases, but stuff that I've picked up over the years, thinking I might give that a go at some point. And purely because of Little Wars TV, who continue to be my inspiration. Hello. I don't know why I'm talking to you. Sorry, I don't know why I'm typing. Hi, mate, how are you? Sorry for incommunicado. The black dog has visited and is hanging around and won't let go. But carry on kicking. This is completely off the cuff. And I've got my painting glasses on, so I can't actually read the screen from here. But anyway, hope you're all right, mate. Look like you're up to your eyeballs in Kings of War as usual, which I'm insanely jealous. We are getting quite a lot of Kings of War down at the Stoke Club. And the Slow Grow League continues to slowly grow, which is great. I am trying to get ogres painted. I've received those supply bits from you. But my hobby mojo has absolutely deserted me. It's taken me a lot of effort over the last couple of days to get some painting done, which I have, and in typical fashion, gone absolutely manic on it. But on this 10mm stuff, how did it go, mate? Was that at the pit? I think it was. I don't know if I wasn't supposed to be at that one with Ian Davis, but that might be June, actually. Highly unlikely I'll be going as things stand. I think I've come to the realization that events just do me in. I'm better off just playing the odd casual game here and there. Even stop doing any Peter Pig, which is normally my, as you know, it's normally my fail-safe stuff to fall back on. But because of Little Wars TV, I've dug out a load of the 10mm stuff that I've had lying around forever. Good. Who were you paired with? I painted a grand total of, I think, 3 ogres. You won't be able to see this because the light's shocking in here, but Eddie, nice one. I think all those hours I was putting in to try and sort out the sound on that bloody recording on Skype just about broke me, especially when I spent the money on that bloody software, which I thought was going to sort it. And to be honest, it did help a little bit, but it certainly wasn't good enough to release as a podcast. Plus, we've been entertaining friends over the last nearly 2 weeks over Easter. Plus, Ava's had a shit ton of tennis events. Just excuse me, I am actually on call at the moment. That's okay. Only for another 63 minutes, though. Yeah, with Ava's activities over Easter, plus the Germans, and then getting a little bit of the lurgy on Wednesday, which Ava fell down with. Actually, the Germans had first, and then passed on to me and Ava. My enthusiasm for all things has been pretty low, but hope you're all right, mate. I know Sam's very happy with the stuff you sent through to him. I haven't seen him because I haven't been down the club for 3 weeks, other than to pass on stuff. You got a game tomorrow down at your club? Sorry, on Sunday. Got lots of desire to do things, certain projects, like there was a video earlier from Mantic, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but reforged orcs and halflings, and and very nearly clicked on the website and ordered a reforged orcs, which is completely ridiculous when I've got so much stuff already that I haven't painted. But for whatever reason, I've been through the wars, mate, with your mouth and chest infections. How's your mouth doing? Hopefully that's going all right. I've been pretty useless at anything over these last 4 weeks, really, I suppose. But for some reason, painting this 10mm stuff has got me out of the doldrums a little bit. I don't know why. But there you go. This is some stuff I've had for probably 4 or 5 years. I bought this from the Yorkshire Vapnartak van Pendraken as a project that I was super mad, dead keen on, and then did fuck all with it. Which is my typical modus operandi. I've got a little German vehicle here where only tonight I've realised I've glued the turret on the wrong way around. And whatever I've used to stick it on, I've got a shit all chance of getting it off. Are you Trident Realme or Empire of Dust? I wonder if I can lift that bloody turret off without cutting my fingers off. Well, it's easier than I thought. Okay. I'm walking tomorrow. Rocket glue. That's not a good sign. I'm going to ask you a silly question now. Are you painting at the moment? I'm Trident Realme and ready for Welsh qualifier. I take it that's for Clash of Kings. Seeing Bob and Jan are over in Spain. Lucky buggers. Yeah, I just think my head just doesn't cope well with events. The effort I have to go through to settle down with people that I don't know, I think it's just too much what I've realised late in life that it's just too much for me. Sorry about that camera, it's just bouncing on top of my laptop. So if you are painting, and I can't imagine you're not, what are you painting, mate? Cheer me up. I've got a really bad back as well. Oh, that's bloody killing me. So I'm working from home. I'm going to stop that bouncing every time I'm at the table. So I'm a right wobble on it. Oh, life, eh? Okay, the phone ringing, but I know Lisa is in somewhere downstairs. She should get that. Reading ogres and some. I have noticed you've succumbed to Armada. My box set that I received for Christmas is down to my left hand side. remains untouched. Since Christmas. Although actually I didn't pay for it, so I was going to say another great example. Oh, my painter paints take some shaking. Another example of wasted money, but I didn't actually pay for it, so what do I know? So these are early war Germans from Pendragon to use with hopefully yeah, Lisa's shouting at something downstairs.
You're supposed to look at this ring. And also, you've eaten the bottom off the caterpillar cake doll. That's supposed to be going tomorrow.
I'm live on the internet. So that will have been heard by 2 people.
Oh, is that all?
Stefan.
No. Perhaps it's his signet ring.
Stefan, 1st of April 2006.
2006?
Yeah, I've just been told off for eating some cake that Lisa was planning on taking somewhere.
1st of April is when we got married, I think.
Yeah, well, it's Stefan's ring.
Well, you would think you would know. Okay.
Stefan, 1st of April 2006. Stefan, 1st of April 2006. So what I've just been... Okay. So my German friend Stefan has left some kind of ring. It looks like his wedding ring, actually. But I can't believe he hasn't noticed it's missing. My mother-in-law has found it in the back of her car, bizarrely. So yes, Lisa says hello, and she was laughing as she shouted at me. Let's check with work. Works okay. Yes, so these are 10mm early war Pendragon figures I've had for some time, but finally getting some paint on. I'd actually made quite a good start on them previously, but like so many projects. Hello, I have a second viewer. Say hello in the chat so I know who you are. If you want to. It's not an obligation, but it'd be nice. I've got Steve Evans with me, the lazy pirate. Aha. Who's painting some ogres and Basilean ships for Armada. What? Lisa?
Yeah?
Are you going to tell your mom?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, they've returned home, the Germans, so we're going to have to stick it in a envelope and post it back to him. So these are early wars, I said. I'm really just touching them up. I've changed my painting style. I've painted the same way for probably at least 15 years, probably getting on for 20. The camera's really shaking, isn't it? Sorry? Saying what? Right. That's the end of my challenge, though. Yeah, I'll have a chat about it later. Oh, sorry about that. A bit distracted. Anyway, these are going to get rebased. I'm just touching up. So painting, sorry, yes. I painted the same way for at least 15 years, maybe 20 years. And that is base coat, wash, done. But this is something else I'm going to blame on Little Wars TV. Greg did a great video showing how he paints Pendragon War of Independence figures. Which I think Greg himself would say there's nothing groundbreaking in what he was doing, but what it did for me, I think, was make me realise just how quick you can paint things using the method that he'd shown. It's a method I've used years and years and years ago, which is black undercoat with a very soft grey dry brush over the top. And then just block in the colours, but leaving black in the recesses so you get that definition. It's almost a sort of caricature level of definition, I suppose you might call it, but I think it looks, especially on 10mm figures, and maybe on 6mm. I need to try it on 6mm because I've been painting with block colours and using the Winsor, is it Winsor & Newton? No, Winsor & Newton Peat brown or nut brown ink, very much like Pear does at Roller One. But I think the method that I'm now using on these might work on the 10mm. But we shall see. We shall see. I don't know. No reason why I shouldn't. Okay, let's have a bit of flesh on the scene. So I've been working from home all day today, really just in an on-call capacity, just needed to have my laptop on and just to check things are ticking over. What it has enabled me to do is get a crap load of painting done, so although I've been in a real hobby funk for a couple of weeks, mainly due to the fact I've got guests and it's Easter and Ava's at home and got to keep her occupied and carting around to various things. I've had no time or energy, and I always find with painting, the less I do, the less I want to do, which probably sounds a bit nuts, but there you go, that's me. This is rifle, that's good. Love it. I love it. Don't you love it when you're painting, especially when you're batch painting like this? So I'm painting, I don't know, probably 50 figures here at once. Don't you love it when you change colours and then you realise you've missed a figure with the previous colour? I think it's possibly my most favourite part of painting. I think it's great. It really challenges you to not flip the table, throw your brushes down and go and watch something on the telly. So he's quite interesting. So yes, so my painting mojo's back. So I bought these figures from Pendragon at Vap Nartak, which is the show in York. And I bought them to use with, got my dog here, I bought them to use with I Ain't Been Shot Mum by the Two Fat Lardies, and using a scenario book called The September War, 30, which is the German invasion of Poland. So, and the first scenario in that pack is actually from the very first day of the invasion, 1st of September, which at the time, so 3 years ago, there you go, was the 80th anniversary of the start of the war. Obviously, we're 3 years on now, but I thought, well, that's interesting. I'll fight part of the action that was the very first action of the bloodiest war in human history, using the Two Fat Lardies rules, but they got pushed to one side and other projects came along. The projects came and went, and they were just thrown in a box and forgotten about until my interest was rekindled in a World War II set of rules called Blitzkrieg Commander. I can't actually remember why that was. I've obviously read something or seen a battle report online or something. I can't quite remember why. But it's a set of rules that I played years ago and actually didn't enjoy, because if you know anything about Blitzkrieg Commander, it's actually War Master for World War II, and actually shares some DNA with. Oh, I'm done. Just work issue. It shares some DNA with Black Powder actually as well. Put my reading glasses on. I didn't really enjoy it. However, I've realised that was because the one game I played, I got heavily beaten. Okay, because she resolved. And the battle reports that I've read since and watched since have reignited my interest in it. They've actually gone through an edition change in the meantime. Not that I think there's been masses change in the rules, but it was enough to rekindle an interest. And I thought, oh, that'd be really interesting. Perhaps I could do that in 6mm zone scale. And I remembered that I bought these figures 3 years ago, and I thought, well, actually, all the pictures in the rule book are of 10mm figures, and I'm not saying they're written with 10mm in mind. You can use, like any rule set, you can use any figures you like, but it just reminded me that I've got some 10mm figures that I've done nothing with, and I've probably got enough to make a couple of little forces. So I dug them out, and lo and behold, I've got plenty of infantry, let's say that much. So Blitzkrieg Commander is a level up operationally from IMB Shotman, which is a where you play with a company on the table. Blitzkrieg Commander is really the level up in the fact that you're playing with at least a battalion, if not a brigade, on the table, and you probably play with a division actually. So whereas the figures I bought were intended for one figure equals 1 man level company game, that's changed now. So these will be based 4 figures to a base, which will represent a platoon of probably 20 men. So 1 to 20, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, something like that anyway. But the base, it represents a platoon, and that's the maneuver unit. So the scenario book that I've got, which is actually designed for I Ain't Been Shot On, will just need a little bit of work to adapt it and raise it up. So where you're playing with one company on the table in the scenarios as written, that'll become a battalion on the table, or battalion equivalent, or even regiment or brigade. But in any case, I will use those scenarios, and I think I've probably got enough. I don't own any armour as such. I've got a couple of armoured cars. What you have as such miniatures. I know, can you believe it, Steve? I know, it's unbelievable. And this week, despite being in the hobby doldrums, I was speaking to a mate of mine down at the club, and we've been firing backwards and forwards with ideas for other new projects. So I've painted up, this is from Pendragon alone, because I tend to go a bit obsessive on these things. I painted up some Spanish Civil War using Blitzkrieg Commander and the supplement called Libertad. Spanish Civil War's a conflict I've had a long abiding interest in ever since school, really, and a history teacher first talked to us about it. So I've got the Libertad supplement for Blitzkrieg Commander, and I think there's 5 or 6 scenarios in there. The first of which is for Jarama, which is a famous battle involving the International Brigade and more specifically the British battalion within the International Brigade, and it was sort of a bit of a tragic event where the Francoist forces rolled over the British, but they had a last stand, if you like, and did the best to hold up the armies of Franco as they marched on to Madrid. In actual fact, I've managed to get out of the doldrums and arrange a game at the club for next Friday, but that will be 6mm War of Independence. So I painted way over 1,000 War of Independence figures from Bacchus at the turn of the year, and now, because I am this obsessive type, I'm now starting a 10mm project. For the War of Independence, having seen the Little Wars TV stuff as aforementioned. And I think I can say without fear or favour that the Pendragon American War of Independence range is possibly it's a range of some of the nicest sculpts I've seen in all my years in this hobby. Go on the Pendragon forum and go onto the photo gallery, which is one of the pages there. A guy called Dazza, I don't know his proper name, but he's got a thread of posts on the Pendragon forum from when these figures first came out, probably 10 or 12 years ago now. And I have to say they inspired me then, although I didn't buy any. If you want to see the quality of them. And they are the figures that Little Wars TV have used in their War of Independence battle reports, which is Brandywine, Trenton, and then if you're a Patreon subscriber, they've done a really good video, which is a complete playthrough of the rules, live free or die, refighting the Battle of Hobkirk Hill, I think it is. So, yeah, of course, I went and bought a few. Painted up the first ones this week. And made out an order that I may place tomorrow, or I may, well, I'll place it tomorrow, but I may collect it at Partisan, which on the 22nd of May. So what's that? It's just 4 weeks away, isn't it? It's just a month away. Because it'll give me something to pick up from the show, which is always nice. And also, it'll prevent me creating a huge lead pile. So these are essentially done with just like, oh, actually, and they just need to do a bit of silver on the bayonets. I don't want to sort of overwhelm myself. I want to overwhelm myself with a big lead mounting. I've got a big enough lead mounting as it is, but particularly time is past just see what's going on with work. I think I might just bloody hell. A couple of bits. Let me sort this. I don't want to overwhelm myself with a lead mounting. I've got maybe two more regiments I can paint of the AWI. So before just going off and ordering a load more, or having a load more delivered, sorry, partisan. I'll get them I'll order them to collect at partisan and paint up a couple of units I've got in the pile as it stands. Just click this and must check that the wheel hasn't come off. Oh my god. Well, it's nearly come off, but right, I am going to log off from just tell my stuff to go home. Stuff going. Computer off. Right. So I think that's probably. I'm really missing shows at the moment. I haven't made any this year yet. I seem to be busy whenever they're on. You play too many tournaments, mate. That's your problem. I used to go to probably a dozen shows a year. I think that's down to 3 or 4 at the most now, but that's okay because I'm busy with other things. But I'm looking forward to Partisan. Partisan will be great. If you've never been, Steve, you should get sorry about this wobbly camera. That's what it is. Yeah, you should get to it. It's a really great show. It's probably about the best the hobby has to offer from historical wargaming, certainly perspective. Some of the very best demo games, scenery, painting, etc., etc., and obviously a big trade presence as well. So Pendraken, who are my latest love, are there, and they're releasing the modern version of Blitzkrieg Commander called Cold War Commander, which I will be purchasing, although I have no figures for it at the moment. And there's usually half a dozen of us from my club that will go up, so it's quite a good social day, and I meet 1 or 2 people from listeners who are from the podcast. I've had a podcast episode recorded for 3 weeks. In fact, it was probably about the same time as me and you recorded, Steve, for Play Nice Radio. And the disaster that was, I think, has sapped my enthusiasm to get the God's Own Scale episode out. However, I will try and sit down tomorrow morning and get that recorded. I'll speak offline about God's Own Scale, about Plain Arse Radio. Yeah, it's great. It's a good show, Partisan. I don't normally do an awful lot of spending there. There's no bring and buy. Hey up, lad. Coming to Joy of Six. Of course I am, mate. Yeah. How are you? Hope you're well. Long time no speak. Still painting all that lovely World War II stuff up, I imagine, from Peter. Or for Peter. Or for yourself, in fact. Joy 6, actually, hopefully I've got something fairly special planned for the workshop tour. I won't say anything else because I think Peter is going to talk about it, but might involve some overseas guests, let's say that much. I can't believe it's a year since we did. Good man. I can't believe it's a year since we went through the virtual Joe 6. That was bonkers. The day was bonkers, wasn't it? Behind the scenes, Christ. I don't know what we'd have done without you. I don't know what we'd have done because it was the blind leading the blind, really. We had a vision and you made it reality. Message this may be my daughter. Kids, eh? Yeah, you and me both. Jeez. I don't think I've ever worked so hard sitting on my arse. My head was spinning. But it seemed as though it was all worthwhile. So what you've been working on lately then, because you were knocking it out of the park with all of that World War II stuff last year on those lovely big bases. There were mini dioramas, they were, of exceptional quality. Don't tell Peter, but I'm painting 10mm at the moment. 10mm is a bit of a thing. Don't worry, I've got plenty of 6mm just by my left foot. As I ponder how to do blending. What I'd really like to do is do blending in the style of Leipzig Light, Gettysburg at the Gallop. There's another one. I can't remember. But you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm contemplating doing it using DBN. On 40 by people, on DBA star bases or WRG bases, so 40mm frontage by 15, I think. Thinking DBN, actually, they do sort of double element bases of 40 by 25. But if I did 40 by 15, I think it'd give that more linear warfare look. And technically within the DBN rules, a base represents roughly, gosh, Sean, what is it? 2,500 men. So a large brigade, I would suggest. But I think that'll look all right. I'll be selling off my unneeded armies. What's this? Unneeded armies? Steve, shut your eyes and ears. Wing Commander Luddite, aka Igor, from the Bacchus, ex of the Bacchus Workshop, is selling. What are you selling, mate? Because I am always in the market. I don't need to know this, but I'm always in the market. Dear, oh dear. As if I need any more projects. I think this week, I was saying to Steve earlier on, I was talking to one of my mates, and I must have come up with 4 or 5 new projects that I'd like to do. As if I've got time to do 4 or 5 new projects. All 6 mil except for GH. Now they're going to fetch a penny. GHQ ships, they are not cheap ski. What 6 mil have you got then, mate? So even if I don't want it, somebody else might, who I know. Unless, of course, you did want to take it to the George 6 anyway. You might be able to, a bit like a crap dealer. I can get you, put you onto some willing buyers. I imagine your stuff is going to be absolutely top drawer though. I bet you're not undercoating black and just block lining in a single colour, leaving black as the shadow or the darkest colour. I imagine it's somewhat a cut above. I do like the videos that Peter's been doing. He sent me through the first one to have a look. It's all World War II, including 400 aircraft. Nice. Is it the stuff that you were showing off last year then? Are you moving that on? Don't tell me you're getting out of the hobby. Once a wargamer, always a wargamer. Having said that, I am on the verge of selling masses of 15 mil. Other than my AK-47 and my Wars of the Roses, I think the rest of my 15 mil is going to go, because most of it's not seen the light of day for years. And I'll just do it all in 10 mil or 6 mil. White umbrella undercoat. Oh my god. Actually, I've heard that the enamel, I take it you mean enamel there. I've got a friend who uses umbrella enamel. But black says it's the best. Keeping my new stuff, mainly heroics, I want to shift. Yeah, I foolishly bid on some Cold War heroics. What I thought was heroics and Ross, actually. I think it's a mixture of heroics and Scotia, but very early stuff that said Soviet armor and vehicles. I think that's what it described as. They got one of those very vague, out of focus pictures on it. on the eBay auction, and I put a bid in, higher actually than I should have, and then won it. And then it came through, and I think there's a box full, a small box like this, full of 6mm vehicles, or 1/300 vehicles. There must have been 60 vehicles in there, but there's 6 pattern tanks. There's one T80. Some of the armored Russian armored cars, BM something DR, are they? Something like that. And about 50 trucks. Which I wasn't particularly impressed with. And I'd look at them, put them back in the box, and put them on the shelf. And I'm probably not likely to do anything with them, I'm afraid. The camera is really unsteady. I wonder if I